lot of progress. A year ago, I don't think we could have gotten any of us to agree on many things other than what does it take to get the prescriptions out the door. But we've used your tools to have a new way of problem solving, and we'll talk about that briefly. But what Joey said was, it's got to fit on one t-shirt. Yesterday I was having a problem with Amazon.com. I looked at the bottom of the email that they sent me, and they said, the Earth's the most customer-centric customer. And Joey said, it has to fit on one t-shirt. So, your mission. So our mission is to provide veterans, families, and WDVA partners accurate, timely, and efficient pharmaceutical services through clear communication, training, and education. That wouldn't fit on one shirt, so we said, we have a plan. And we have a plan. Because we want you to ask us, what is this plan about? What are you doing? I had Ron ask me, what's this plan? What are you all doing in strategic planning? Some people are scared. Some people, we were scared. And some people don't know enough to be scared. And then some people know so much that they know it's not going to hurt them. It's not going to hurt their department. So I thought I would have a system I could show you this, but it didn't work out. So we'll punt. So our vision is to become a world-class pharmacy team through improved training and education, efficient policies and procedures, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, financial responsible business practices, and developing strategic partnerships with our veterans, families, and WDVA teammates in Washington. Wow, what a mouthful. And what a lot of work. This is 2 years. It could take some people 20 years to do what we're asking to do. But we'll do it. We have 506. How many prescriptions have we done so far this week? We all. That was over 700 yesterday. We'll push through 1,000 easily. How many?
150 that we did this morning.
Oh wow. So we know how to perform. We just didn't have guidance. What do we need to do in our decision making? And that was bogging us down. So the next step was, what are our values? Honesty, professionalism, teamwork, accuracy, and accountability. We agreed on this. The whole team. And then we set 3 goals. Goal 1, increase customer awareness by developing a program for education, awareness, and customer feedback within 1 year of initiating the strategic plan. When's the strategic plan start? January 1st. But we've already started work on it. Goal 2, become a more transparent department by defining roles and responsibilities, implementing communication management, and improving accountability within 1 year of initiating the strategic plan. And the one that scared us the most was to increase efficiencies by 200%. By evaluating and defining existing procedures and practices, and identifying and implementing new technologies and resources within 2 years of initiating this strategic plan. So we got a lot of work to do over the next 2 years, and we already started. We used this tool to make a decision that would have taken, how long would have that number on the label taken?
We've been talking about that for a year.
We have. So I wish I could bring you the photograph, but it's not working. We one afternoon, we took 20 minutes and we said, pros, cons. Here are the cons, or the pros, we had 4. And we put 2 cons up. Then we applied what we learned and said, how does this affect each of our goals? Yes, sir.
To add that, we've also added in as a suggestion, and that's where we start, and we all have access to that.
And we all have access.
So, and what is that called? 'Cause I forget the name.
It's called a Kanban.
A Kanban.
I think. Those that have had the lean.
We're using it.
So, and let's step back a little bit. Transparency is our big issue here, I think. Transparent to ourselves and transparency to the pharmacy. It's a mysterious place that the door is locked and you can only call because we don't know what you're in there.
Sounds like HR.
Oh, no, it's worse. It's worse. We don't even have a hole in the front door to see who's coming through the door, okay? That's a joke.
HR doesn't either.
HR doesn't either. But they have a badge though outside that anybody can get in. At least we don't do that. But it's a mysterious place, and that's why we want to publish our progress on what's happening with the strategic plan, so that the people in the agency see it's a somewhat normal place to work, and they get to see what's happening in this not transparent place at all. So we put the Kanban board together. It's how this team has started to think. I said, okay, well, we want everyone to have access to it. So Cindy put it, and she had everyone have access to it. It's on the shared drive for the agency, not for the pharmacy. We invite people to come look at what's going on. We want you to see the ideas and what's happening with it to help with the biggest struggle that we think we have, and that's transparency. So we put the number thing on the board and we tied it back to what are the goals and what are the values. Then we looked at the cons, and the cons were kind of in opposition to what our goals were. And the decision was made in 20 minutes. And it was a unanimous decision. And that is remarkable progress that we have been talking about for over a year. So watch for what's going on. I hope that the communications people would like to partner with us to document what our journey is going to be like over the next couple of years, so that people could learn from our mistakes. But of course, we're going to have a little bit of help from Joey, and hopefully you'll be willing to do that.
Done and done.
So we appreciate, on behalf of the pharmacy team, the work that you've done with us. And we hope that you'll continue to work with us, because we value your input and we're amazed by the tools that you give. The 200% will be very easy to meet. We just have to figure out how we're going to measure it. Okay?
Show it off.
So that's what's going on with our team. I'm very proud of this team. We did tough work. Chime in. What was it like? What was the experience like? We want people in the agency to see, or to know. We had rules. We set rules. No handguns. No billy clubs.
If I feed you, you can't hate me.
That's right. But what happened during the process? I'm not allowed to talk.
Yeah, it was completely frustrating sometimes, because somebody would say something or make a comment, and right away you want to attack that person for what they had said. So we put on the board, or we had said in the beginning, basically no comment is off the board, no answer is wrong. You know, just the regular way of communicating with each other. But after we left the meeting, you know, you just sat there and said, oh, so-and-so said this, and what do they mean by that, and we take it personally. And we really had a lot of emotions go through that meeting, and I think it opened up all our eyes of how to treat people and how to get along and communicate a little bit better. And hopefully it's, you know, it's every day it takes this much more to get that communication going and being more transparent. But you know, you're just everyday learning, and we every day are opening that communication line this much more, and it's really helped. It's taken a long time. I mean, I've been there 2 years now, and from where I started, there was no communication, and now it's quite open. good. We still have a long ways to go with working with certain people and, you know, getting everybody on the same board, but I think we're getting there. And everybody's open to it, so that's the great part.
And I think teamwork is a good catchphrase, but it's not always realistic. And I think making that real, the process of becoming a team, is a lot harder than actually just saying, teamwork, go team. Because that's so easy. But actually, when you sit down and you go, ooh, I oppose that opinion. But learning how to oppose opinions and then try and come together and agree upon it, that's when teamwork starts to happen. And I think that took leaving the meeting and coming back together and reassembling and kind of going, okay, this is what teamwork is going to mean for us. And to me, that's what came out of it for us, like how do we get to that place? And initially it was just like teamwork, and just like I just felt like it's a concept, but it's not there yet. So that's one of our goals, you know. So
We always have the teamwork as far as getting the job done,
Getting-
making sure
yes.
the veterans were taken care of.
Right.
It just wasn't necessarily a team and how we, our personal relationships.
right.
So there's 4 steps in building a team: forming, and normalizing. So you guys really were still into that forming side of it, and you guys get into the next phase with the storming part of it. It's all just that growth process. Before you know it, everything's normal. That's just what you guys did. So I'm looking forward to teaching you guys a few more tools and getting more of these ideas and coaching and problem solving ideas. And also visualization, right? That's one thing we really talked about, is how do we make this more transparent, just by saying this is what I do and this is how it impacts you. And taking a few of you are going out to the homes and taking the homes and coming in and work with you. A lot of fun stuff we do.
We've done that in the pharmacy, as far as we don't say anymore, oh yeah, I'm fine, I can finish this today. We tell everybody in our meetings how much work we have to do left, how much is there in the morning and how much you have left at 1:15 when we have our afternoon one, so that it's not 3:20 when you're trying to tell the people that the later shift what else is left to do. You have that time to have somebody come help you. So you don't freak yourself out.
And that was part of our idea that we put that into implementation within, what, a day or two of finishing this. That we said we need to be more transparent to one another. And we can do that with a 2 or 3 minute meeting in a time when that we know this is the stock that's left over.
We've never had a 2 or 3 minute meeting
What, James?
ever.
We're going to start calling them bubbles.
Conceptually.
You're going to see, we're going to start changing the culture of this and start calling them huddles. Meetings kind of brings a bad context thing, but if you start calling things in the huddles, we're going to get together as a team and talk about things as a team, as a huddle. We'll start getting a little bit different.
So the other thing that we've talked about recently is the agency has, the executive leadership did a strategic plan as well. And there are 4 areas that the agency itself is going to focus on. One of them is technology. And we are kind of at the forefront of tech. We've implemented a new pharmacy system. Hopefully we'll be the first department to go live on the periscoping thing. We're not afraid of new technology. We love new technology. It helps make our lives easier. And we have other technologies coming, hopefully, electronic medical record that's going to come to help with our processes. But we're always going to maintain what are these doing with our goals and our values that keeps us bounded. Yes, sir.
Can I talk for sure? Sure. I just wanted to talk about, James was talking about the fact that the executive team put together a strategic plan. The thing I want to tell you is that what we looked at is we really need to focus internally. You know, we can come up with great ideas of humongous goals we want to achieve, and then we can step back and say, now wait a minute, where are we going to get the capacity to do that? And that's a big challenge for us. So what we're really focusing on over the next 2 years is you. And I mean you as a member of WDVA, because we've really got to invest in our staff and providing kind of the structure to kind of build on. If we don't have a foundation, how do we ever move forward? We can come up with great things, and I talk about the big V, when you know our vision, and it's every veteran and their family connected with the services and benefits they've earned, that's like world peace. You know, it's not within our grasp in 2 years. We can continue to strive for it, but we really need to look at what can we really accomplish. So what I think is exciting about what you guys are doing is you're taking this and you're going in your department saying, what can we do? And how do we really fit into the big picture? And that's incredibly important, and I'm looking to you to lead the way. I want you to inspire other people to say, you know, this process is valuable, because what's really important? I mean, if you're trying to work together as a group, understanding each other's roles and responsibilities. You know, ambiguity is something that some people really enjoy. They like being in a kind of an area where it's just kind of free-flowing. Whatever happens today, well, I'll do that. And not really having a kind of a clear way forward. This is all about getting, what are we really going to do over the next year? What can I contribute toward? And if you've got a plan and everybody agreed to it, you can say, now, where do I fit in this? You were talking about a Kanban board. I'm not sure exactly, what are we calling these, the idea board? Because really, what are the ideas to really make a difference come from? I can come up with all kinds of crap you can't do. It sounds great on paper, but the point is, it's got to be something that's doable, that you agree is doable, and you can get behind. And we need that enthusiasm to build across the agency. We talk about change. We say we talk about stuff, and nothing ever happens. Well, why does it not happen? Our experience with strategic planning historically has been every 2 years we submit an agency budget. There is a document that is called a strategic plan that is required to go with that. Then we don't get together as a group and decide, well, where are we going? Or did your executive team even get together and say, well, where do we want to go as an agency? Not so much. Not in a way where you really look at, okay, what's really happening? And what are our opportunities? What are our strengths? How do we capitalize on those? How do we really make a difference? Can we do something that is achievable so everybody can watch it move forward? If you can't feel like you're moving, don't you get tired of hearing the message? So this is about changing, doing it a different way. And you guys are on the forefront right now because you've gone through the process of starting and building your strategic plan. Now we're going to take this, and every department in this agency needs to be behind that. We purposefully focused on 4 goals that are about staff. We're looking at how do we develop our staff? How do we give you the technology tools and not overburden you? So technology is wonderful. I love it. I would like us to implement every new piece of technology there is in the world and do it tomorrow. Okay, you'd never want to see me again if I said we're going to do that.
That means that do us one conversion every day.
Every day of the week. So we're going to focus on what's really going on. What have we committed to already? And how do we focus on making that successful? Okay, we're doing the electronic health record. That's a big project. It's going to impact everyone in this room many times over. When you get into looking at what is Vet Services doing, Vet Services is doing something very similar. They're trying to build a client relationship management system that really helps them gather the information of every veteran they touch. That's huge. Everybody in Vet Services is going to be focused on trying to make this system work and build it so that it can work. So do I need to give them another system to build? Probably wouldn't be a good idea. I want them to do other things too. You know, you already got a plate full. So we say, well, how many good new projects can we go do? Well, I'd love you to do everything that comes along. But we've got to be realistic. We can't expect it. So we've got to focus on some things. So we're doing the technology. We're focusing on what we've got going, but we're also looking at the easy things we can do. What's the technology that's already available to us that we don't use fully, that can make our lives better? We're going to do that. We're going to focus on those. We're going to develop our staff. We're going to look at our communications. Every time we take a survey around here, I hear we don't communicate. We're trying, but what does that tell me? Well, we're trying, but we're not hearing you. We don't know what you really mean when you say that. We've got to do a better job of figuring out how can we communicate better. What's communication look like to you? That's critical. So, and our 4th goal is about sustainability. What's that mean? How do we keep doing what we're doing and survive in this environment? We've got a lot of dependence on other people's money. That's great. We capitalize on federal grants, opportunities, so we can do more things to help veterans in the state of Washington. What happens when that grant goes away? It's like musical chairs. Everybody stands up and says, where I'm going to land, because suddenly my funding source dried up. How do I continue to do this mission, and how do I continue to have focus? So we're trying to figure out ways to kind of make this more stable and help everybody get it and feel good about it and be able to show everybody what you're doing to make a difference. The visual, we got way too many bare walls. We don't talk about what we're doing. We don't have measure to say. If somebody walks up to you on the street and says, Washington Department of Veterans Affairs, well, you get taxpayer dollars. Why should I support you? Can you show them? Can you tell them what we do and how it makes a difference? Not right now, but it builds from every individual department can show, what do you do? What have you accomplished? How are you working toward achieving the goal? And what is that goal? And what's it going to do for Washington's veterans, your family members? So what you're doing and what you've started is really key to our success in being able to do this and make it part of our system, so we're not just talking about it anymore, we're really doing it, and we can see it, and we know when we've got success. So I'm incredibly proud, and I want you to set the example to bring everybody else along. I want you to show everybody else in the agency, look at us, look at what we can do. What do you do? There's nothing like peer pressure. You've got to put a little bit of energy into people. So I can't say enough about the excitement I've got for what you're doing. So thank you. And thank all of the team for working toward this. It's everybody pulling together. That's the only way we can do it. I've always heard there's no I in team. So if you're really going to be a team, you've got to consider everybody, and you can't just focus on what's in it for me. Everybody wants to know that. But at some point, you've got to see, well, I can do more if I'm part of the team and we're going to do something. So, thank you, and I'll get off my soapbox. Go back.
So I'll close with, we have a sign outside the pharmacy that announces that we have a plan. We ask everyone to put a development goal on that for themselves. Mine's communication. Horrible at communicating. And I've asked all of you to do it, but when we talked about this, what is the difference between development and training? And Gary's not allowed to answer. I pondered this. That no one that was extended leadership is allowed to answer. Development versus training. In extended leadership, they said it's like
skills versus learning new skills.
Doing what?
Refining skills versus learning new skills.
Kind of. The extended leadership said it's like training is you dip someone in it and off it goes and it dries and it's done. And if you remember, the example that I gave you all was training is a Krispy Kreme donut. Right? Just legs. But when you develop that member, you make them into a Boston cream donut. Okay? They're more fulfilled. They're more, it's a better, you become a better employee. You're with your own skills. And the skills are brought to the team when we develop you. We can train you. That training will be obsolete 6 weeks from now, 6 months from now. When we develop you, we're giving you skills that can be used through your career. Yes, sir, Joe?
Another way of looking at it is training is a requirement and development is an investment. That's what we're looking at. So we're looking at over the next 2 years is like our second goal with whatever page are is how are we developing people. Not training people, developing. Development is that investment in you. It's when I was saying that it had all the members at the book table for the team for trying to figure out what the strategic plan looks like. I kept saying, existingly, we were trying to develop a huge sword that can go out there and reach every single person we could possibly meet. Internally, we never had the strength to swing that sword. So it's just sitting in the dirt. It looks really pretty, really cool, we can do everything there, but we can't swing it. So the next 2 years before we try to develop a bigger sword, we've got to develop our internal strength to be able to swing it. And And if we want to get to the outreach and get every single veteran out there, internally, we better be able to take on that capacity. So, that's what, sir, everything you're saying is awesome with that, and it really comes back to it. Just that buy-in that the team got to realize that we've got to build ourselves up to be able to take on what we want to take on. You guys are a perfect example of that. We talk about it a lot. You guys want to be a world-class pharmacy. Being a world-class pharmacy is going to be required to really build up your capacities. 200% efficiency, that's going to really build up your capacities. It's exciting work.
So we want to get a photograph because I promised central office that we would send a photograph of everyone. So can all of our pharmacy team members come forward? We have Cindy, Monica, Julie, Joey, Sarah, Gary. These are our pharmacy team members as well. They're just not in the pharmacy all the time, but you provide support, which is much needed.
Short
Tall, I'm short also.
Short ones up.
You're shorter than me. You're shorter than me.
All right,